Welcome to Disturbed, the American Horror Story Podcast. Tonight we are talking about Chapter 7, Season 6, named Chapter 7, which I'm calling Bad Choices. I am Chris Mao. With me is who? Who's with me tonight?
I'm Rob Southgate, trying to put my headphone back together. Aren't they all bad choices? We'd call this Bad Choice Chapter 7?
This is really bad choices, though. This is ultimate. I mean, it seems like, especially since they changed, every decision is the wrong one, which is awesome. So,
yeah, this show is going off the rails. You know, seriously. Although, well, we'll get into it. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm wondering who's going to be left. I mean, I mean, seriously, who can survive this?
Well, they said one person survived. So does that mean one out of all the hundreds of people we see sitting there?
Everybody,
or
right?
One alive person. I don't know. So,
yeah, it's
interesting.
It's interesting. Yes. All right. So let's get into it, man.
Yes, let's get into it.
First thing I wrote down here, Sydney
Agnes?
pointed out. Sydney pointed out there are 75 cameras in that house. That's 75 that are placed, but then he gives everybody in the place cameras. So I mean, there's like 80 cameras in this house shooting all the time. One thing I've been really enjoying about that is the varying quality.
Yeah, I've actually kind of like that aspect of it is giving it the very, reality show kind of Big Brother Survivor kind of feel, which has been nice.
Well, even better than that, because if you watch like Big Brother, they're using the same cameras throughout, so the quality doesn't shift. But on here,
well, Big Brother does, I think.
Does it?
I think there's some. I think they've got some that are tucked in the corner that aren't.
Yeah, they get a little grainy. Well, when they switch to like their camera phones, some of the camera phones look better than others.
Right.
Some of the shots look a little bit different. When they were using the placed cameras, they all look the same. I like that. That's a really nice attention to detail.
Yeah. They pay attention to that. I think there's some other things that they could have improved on, but I like it. I'm really, I kind of like the change in the way these are going, but there's also some big issues with what they've done, which is okay. I'm okay with that. It is. And it's just, not to be disparaging against actors and people in the theater, but are they taking every bad stereotype with these people and putting it on the screen? It's awful.
But you know what? For that scene, for the people that are on this, I kind of buy into it. I mean, as somebody who has been on movie sets, who has been in that world, there are really cool, decent people.
Sure.
The people that are on this, I don't doubt for a second that they would be people that would be, the worst. They'd be the bottom. Like that Dominic guy seems like he crested. He's one of those Hollywood kind of scumbag guys, and it fits him. I think Monet, the only reason we're getting the stereotype out of her is because of what happened, how she was infected because of Lee, and now she's an alcoholic and she's falling apart.
Well, we'll get into this because I think they all, and when we talk about Chapter 8, not to spoil, I think it's pretty evident how these guys take on their characters. And I mean, and that happens. I mean, it started with Agnes. Well, I am the butcher. I'm the perfect person to play the butcher.
Let's talk about Agnes.
Oh my, she is so good. It's
so good.
She is crazy how well she acts. So.
Yeah, crazy? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with crazy. This was great because in Chapter 6, we talked about, was that Agnes in the window or was it not?
Yes.
It looked like her. But then we're like, wait, they had these things that they were doing setup stuff, so it could have been a fake, it could have been whatever.
Right.
Oh no. We now know
they could have home alone it.
Freaking Agnes is doing this. I love that. Well, okay. For Agnes. The whole time I'm wondering, is this her? They claimed that she had schizophrenia, but it seems like multi-personality disorder with schizophrenia. Because she's got all that paranoid stuff. She's got
is it the daily double?
Yeah, I think she's got the daily quadruple.
That's right.
But one of the things I was wondering, because of the way she reacts was she being like, is she possessed by the butcher? And I was thinking that throughout until the scene when she was in the bunker.
Right.
Well, not bunker. What is it? It's a root cellar, right?
Root cellar bunker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
When she's in the root cellar,
like a bomb shelter almost, but
right. And she's filming herself and she's kind of flipping back and forth, but she wasn't flipping like she would if she was possessed.
Correct. I think she's
acting the part.
Well, she's schizophrenic, so she's acting the part, and you hear of people doing that where they think they're the part that they act, and we can get into that later when we talk the next podcast. But
and when she I do think that that the schizophrenia was brought on because of the butcher.
Yes.
I mean, we haven't gotten any backstory that indicates anything other than that. We haven't also gotten any backstory that is for sure it, but that's the impression I get. But I don't think she was possessed because of the final scene.
Yes.
When the freaking butcher shows up.
And the butcher butchers. So
yeah. And the way Agnes reacted, where she's like, "Oh, you're my hero." Like, I'm going, wait a minute. She wasn't possessed. She literally was like in this gray zone of the butcher.
Well, she was obsessed is what she was.
She was obsessed, yes. And when the butcher showed up, the butcher took care of business. How about this butcher? I thought Agnes was scary as the butcher. This woman, I'm like, this is like Pennywise from the new It movie.
Yeah, no, it was it was pretty scary. I mean, even the guys, the villagers that came with her were all, they weren't the Hollywood looking guys. They were really real people looking nasty. And
I love how they're doing that, because in the first half of the season we were buying into that could be what they look like. Now you see these guys and they're dirtier, they're grittier.
Sure. Well, they've been dead for 500 years, so they look nasty. For 450 years they look moldy and stuff like that. So
so there was a lot other than Agnes that happened in this. First of all, I was kind of shocked by the fact that they seem to be flipping cards really fast here, right?
Right. They have a lot to cover, I think.
And they only have 3 more episodes after this to do it, which is astounding to me. Part of me goes, how can they fit it all in 3 episodes? The other part of me goes, everybody's dead by, episode 9. What the hell? How are they going to do this? Anyway.
Because they'll just kill everybody in the next 2 episodes. So
it's crazy. But one of the cards they flipped here that to me was a really bold choice, especially at this moment. Right away, right in the beginning, we see that they have video of the nurses killing Rory.
Right.
We see Sydney and the intern and the cameraman all in the trailer. And the cameraman, I loved this. You see all those screens, and it's almost like it's in the background that happens. But if you watch it, the cameraman sees it and reacts to it. And, of course, we go like, oh, yeah. But if you go back and rewind it, really you're supposed to be watching Sydney. But because of our nature, we're always looking at everything else, and we catch it. But I love how it was really like a background thing. And the cameraman, it was us at this point. And it's like he sees it and he's like, whoa, go back. What was that?
Well, in the typical producer, they look at the cameraman like, just point the camera and shut up and eat your, your sandwich, which was supposed to be a salad because nobody cares.
Right.
Which, which they played on that point. It is. I like it. Well, because, you just want to hate Sydney. You just want to hate him. So you're looking for him at any point to get killed, which, eventually happens, which is great.
Spoiler for 3 minutes into the show.
Yeah, 3 minutes into the show.
Did you expect him to go that fast?
He's to be honest with you, to this story, he is just a tool to get them back. I don't think he's important.
Well, no, obviously not now. But I actually thought he would end up being important. I thought there was going to be some story to Sydney, but they treated him like the girl in Scream, Drew Barrymore in Scream, where it's like you think something is happening, and then boom, 3 minutes in, slaughtered, done. That character is gone. And I love this. You hear the noise outside. As the viewer, you're like, oh, so Butcher is there. Now, still didn't know if it was there. It was Agnes.
Acting form.
Yeah. We still didn't know that it was Agnes was the Butcher at this point in her head.
Right.
this is where we find out.
Yes.
But it was great. You hear the noise, you know that girl's toast. Or the other thought I had is this could be one of Sydney's setups that, he goes outside and he's like, oh, you triggered the thing or whatever.
Right, one of those props or something, like a bonfire or something. And yeah.
And even when she's laying there and it's gushing out of her throat, I was still thinking, is this a setup? Until Agnes shows up and sticks a cleaver in his chest.
Yeah.
You're like, yep, that's not.
It could have been the Polks because they said, well, we haven't seen them in weeks.
Right.
And obviously they're there. Find out later in the chapter or later in the show that the Polks are around. And how about that?
Oh, boy.
That was fantastic.
The Polks. This is the only criticism I'm having. Because I'm really enjoying this season, and the acting has been astounding.
Yes.
I hate to do this because I don't like to throw anybody under the bus or say they're not doing a good job when the show's so astounding.
Right.
But Mama Polk is. I loved when it was the actress playing Mama Polk.
Yeah.
This Mama Polk.
What was Frances Conroy?
Yeah, Frances Conroy was awesome. This Mama Polk, who is also, if you look her up on IMDb, she's in everything and she's really good.
Yeah.
Here, she's not so good. I feel like she's fake. I almost think she should have been the fake Mama Polk.
Right, had Frances Conroy be the real one?
Yeah, because I feel like she's acting, whereas I did not feel like Frances Conroy was acting, which is why we were so off base with what's real, what's not.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like, is she, in this episode, I was feeling like, is somehow it going to turn out that those Polks are a setup from Sydney? And even when Lee gets put down in the chair and everything, are we going to find out? Because we didn't see him actually get injured. It was all off camera.
Who get injured?
Lee.
Okay.
We saw what looked like she was about to get injured, but we didn't see her get injured. We
Correct.
didn't see Aubrey or Monet.
Monet, right.
We saw them in a tight spot. We saw them getting roughed up a little bit, but could it turn out that was, part of their agreement that the actors or that these were actors that were doing this? But we know that's not true. Right. I was thinking that earlier in this episode and going, okay, because her acting was so weird.
Yeah. I think that's got to be a tough role to play, but yeah, I agree. I don't want to say every season or two. There's always just some tough characters to play.
Yeah. So maybe she's just tough.
She went to the kind of the wacky, crazed person, and
the accent sounds weird. And what I keep thinking? What I keep wishing the mom is? You ever see the episode Home on the X-Files?
Yes.
You remember the mom, and she's on a cart. It's all inbred, and they keep the mom on one of the carts you use under your car when you're changing the oil, and they slide her out from under the bed, and she's like, ah! That's what I wanted the mom to be.
Yeah.
That would have been, could you imagine if the mom comes out and she's they're wheeling her around in some weird thing,
right?
And she has half a tongue, and she's like, la, 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 la. And she's the one, but she's the one controlling these guys, these hillbillies. Oh, yeah. That would have been amazing.
Yeah, but that would have been completely over the top.
I'll take it.
Well, but I'm just saying, I think they've made great strides to make the real people believable. You know what I mean? The real people, right? So the real Shelby, the real Matt, they've made them that believable kind of person. So
I love the how we see the Roanoke's appear. We just see them with their torches, and you're like, you immediately, oh yeah, I wanted to address that. So you said was it the last episode? You said that when they were in the hot tub, when
that was in it was in 6, yeah.
That was in 6, and you said he's in the hot tub and you see the torches, and I didn't notice it. I went back and rewatched that episode.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah, those torches are there.
Oh yeah, of course. It's not like there's one, there's 20.
Yeah, it's great. I completely missed that the first time.
Yes.
So that was pretty crazy. As long as we're talking about recapping some stuff from last episode, I wanted to bring this one up. I thought this was really good. So we've been tweeting out some different things, like some different polls and that, trying to find out who do you think is going to survive. I put out a poll where I said, is it going to be Shelby? Is it going to be Matt? Or is it going to be Other? Overwhelmingly, Other came back. And this was this was before we saw this episode. This was right after 6. Yeah, now we know.
We know one isn't going to make it. So
right. And then Tyler, who is one of our fans, wrote to us and said, I believe Shelby survives because she's the next Supreme. I thought this was a great idea because here's the idea for the Supreme. This is what Tyler says. How else did Shelby heal so fast from that gash that she had?
Well, she didn't heal. She was under... I mean, it's
they had her wrapped up and everything, but they had 2 shots. One shot, when they showed it happen, it looked like they took down. The second shot, when they were healing it, it looked like it was really deep, but then they also showed her when she was bandaged up, and it looked like it was probably just a slice.
Well, I don't think it hit her neck. I thought it was her back that got hit.
Was it her back?
I thought it was her back.
I thought it was here, and I thought, man, they cut an artery up there.
No, I thought they got her in the back and just kind of cut her and got some meaty parts, but didn't get her that bad. I mean, bad, but I don't think it was like that life-threatening after she was bleeding a little bit. So,
well, I thought, to me, when I heard that, I thought Tyler really hit something there because it would be.
She's not the Supreme,
but it would be interesting if it turned out that she is a Supreme. She's Diana Ross to this group. That she's the Supreme, and that maybe she's in place to take over for the Wood Witch, the Forest Witch.
We know it's not Cricket, so
Cricket. Where's Cricket?
Yeah, exactly. Don't look at my banners. Where's Cricket? I mean, are not the dead supposed to be?
But I don't think we've seen Cricket yet because we're just barely starting to see the dead come into this.
Well, yeah, but they're in the show. They're there all the time.
Yeah, but when they're on, you mean when they're on the old one, My Roanoke Nightmare, not the Return to Roanoke,
right? Not the Return, but they're there. So
yeah, but Cricket wasn't dead long enough to show up in My Roanoke Nightmare, and in Return to Roanoke, we are just now getting a glimpse.
But we see Mott in the tunnel when the girls are trying to escape.
Let's talk about Mott for a second. That scared the crap out of me. Because I thought it was going to be Mott, the original Mott, walking down the hall and be like, boo, like we'd see it and go, that's not But instead, we get this like crap coming out. And
yeah,
that was terrifying. No wonder they ran back in the house. Yeah, I was like, this is messed up. That was another one we got. I want to bring up. I got to find it on here because we were talking about Mott. We were talking about Dandy and everything. 5 Cents wrote it. Actually, I should give their name. It's Nickel All Day. Wrote, Dandy is a descendant of Edward Mott. Listen to the historian at the beginning of the episode. Last known Mott died in Florida.
Right.
So Dandy is a descendant of that.
That's the tie-in to Freak Show.
Yes.
And then there's supposed to be a tie-in. There's supposed to be a tie-in to Coven.
Well, is there? Because I know that they released this week that next season, I think it is going to be Coven and Murder House.
Murder House, correct.
So are they going to have a Coven tie-in here?
Isn't Murder House set in the 70s?
No, Murder House was 80s or 90s, wasn't it?
Was it 90s? Sorry, it was 90s. So, I mean, there'll be a different
wait, it might even be now. I thought
Murder House was a little bit older, but maybe it is. Whatchamajigger, Sarah Paulson, I think, is supposed to make an appearance as the witch. So she's going to have 3 in this series, which would be awesome. I think so. I mean, maybe she comes in and cleans house and, does some does some voodoo on them. So, which would.
Oh, you just completely cut out, man. I didn't hear a word you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying that maybe she comes in and does some of her voodoo on them and nails them and, she's pissed off about Cricket.
Yeah, it could be.
She's like, where's Cricket? And then comes in and says, oh, well, you guys are going to pay the price. And
yeah, you guys screwed up and got rid of Cricket. Everybody loves Cricket.
You think you're bad, check again. So,
Mom, why do you love Cricket so much? See, that's terrible. That was by Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yes.
That was the worst. Of all the bad impressions I've ever done, that might have been the worst one. That was by Brad Garrett. It was just awful.
Yes. Mom.
Yeah. Oh, see, you could do it.
This is just because I have a deep voice.
Why do you love cricket so much? Everybody loves cricket.
Everybody loves it. That would be a great way to get Jessica Lange to come back. So
make her the mom.
Yeah, and then also, I mean, yeah, exactly. Make her the mom. That would be great.
And then
she pass? Isn't she dead?
Michael Chiklis comes back and he's Frank.
Right? He's Frank. Yeah, that would be awesome.
You know what? I hope nobody is listening to this because we're ruining the show right now. That's the worst.
Yes. Remake the show wrong. That's our take on their thing. So what about Shelby going off on Matt when they try to leave? So number one, they try to leave. Matt and Dominic and Shelby try to leave. They're all pissed. Well, Matt goes down there, and then what's the character lady? Whatever the witch.
Wait. No, they didn't try to leave. Hold on a second.
They were in the basement.
Yeah, but they were trying to leave. Matt was sleepwalking.
Oh, that's right. Matt got
Matt was sleepwalking.
Sorry,
this is the rub, man. This is the rub. They were trying to leave.
Well, he's possessed.
Right, but
Matt's possessed.
No, is he?
Well, that's why he gets up and sleepwalks, because he had that look, like he had that glazed over look where he didn't remember. He said he didn't remember it the first time.
Right, but remember what he says right at the end. I don't think he was sleepwalking. I think he was getting called, like, she's here. So he goes down into that basement, and this is interesting. That looked like it was Lady Gaga again. But she was, how could it be Lady Gaga? Because that would have been an actress on My Roanoke Nightmare.
Well, yes. And in the credits, Thaisa credited with being in it, but they didn't say who it was, so maybe that was her.
Okay.
And I don't know I can't remember who she played, but I think she played one of the witches, didn't she? In Coven?
Yeah.
Or no, she was one of the daughters, I think. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, you got to look that up. I don't remember. Well, anyway, so it was Matt went downstairs. We were supposed to believe he was sleepwalking, but I'm not convinced he was. Right. When Shelby and Dominic go down there.
Well, Dominic follows him and says, "Hey, Shelby, you got to see this," trying to win Shelby over to his side.
Right. Yeah, because he's meeting up.
Bad choice.
He's meeting up with somebody down there. They go down there. He's doing it with this witch, and Shelby freaks out. She's very upset. She scares off the witch, which was pretty wild. But then Matt says, this to me was amazing. When Matt turns around and he's like, "This is why I came back. I love her. I'm in love with her." And it was like, I think he was conscious of what he was doing. I think that maybe he had been possessed earlier when it first happened. But now we find out, no, he wanted to be here. Now, we had last week said we thought that he might be there to commit suicide. I don't think so. I think Shelby had decided if she couldn't make this work, if everything was bad, there was no way her life was ever going to be normal again. She was going to die in the house. I think that's why she went back. I think Matt went there thinking, I am going to sacrifice myself to this witch and be with the witch. I'm in love with her. And I mean, this was a turning point. Another big card flip. She turns around and crushes his skull.
Right, with a big tire,
crushes it though, man.
Yes.
That was, first of all, it was sick, but second of all, I was sitting there stunned.
Yeah. Well, that's very unshelby. So maybe that's just they talk about the power of the blood moon over people and on the land, and it's it's taken over her.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know about Matt, whatever. I think he was just there because his life was miserable. So if he was there to die or there to hook up with do whatever, I don't think, because he the whole second part of the series, he's just been out of it. Just been like, this is horrible. It's like
well, that's why I thought he was there to commit suicide.
Right. He's like a teenage boy, depressed, and
he was just
moping around like, oh, the girl didn't go with me to the prom.
And until she showed, he was all bummed out. Once she showed, it's like, all right, I can get my life going on here.
Hey, it's Lady Gaga. That's okay. So.
Yeah, right. He heard the faint
Yes.
Had to go down there.
Another bad impression.
Yeah, he had to do his poker face.
7 bad impressions, not bad choices.
Yeah, right. But that whole scene, I think if we have to do the nomination, that whole scene, Matt deciding to go back, humping the witch, and getting his skull crushed in, that was bad choice. numero uno on this episode.
No way.
You don't think that was the worst?
But there's more to come.
Oh, there is so much more. And actually, Agnes might have been numero uno because she was also conscious of what she was doing.
No, Dennis O'Hare coming back, them going into the bunker, that's the worst scene ever. They're so stupid.
What was that? I don't remember
when they go find the video and they go into the cellar the first time and Siri.
No, I meant in this episode.
Oh, this episode, yeah,
not overall.
In this episode, absolutely. I think it was a worse choice to tell your ex-wife that you don't love her, that you came back for the witch, and then turning your back on her. That was
like I said, the entire. Let's just say Matt's existence in this episode was just one bad choice after another.
I think the worst choice is you should have got the cameraman a salad because the guy asked for a salad. Right. The guy asked for a salad. How can you help? Can't you help a brother out?
I mean, seriously, man. Plenty of meat. According to the poll, I got plenty of meat. So how about when they were tenderizing Lee's leg?
When they tied her up and then they brought out the salt to tenderize her, I was like, "Are you serious?" That was fantastic.
It was fantastic. Well, of course, the whole time, like we've been talking about all the movies that this is, alluding to. We have fully aired Texas Chainsaw.
Yes.
In fact, I know that people are going to say it was the first one, but really, I was getting a vibe off Texas Chainsaw 2.
Oh, the
one with Dennis Hopper.
Yes. And I was getting off the reboot, off of the Rob Zombie reboot. Or no, Romero reboot.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Romero. It was Platinum Dunes redid it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that was me too. Me too.
It wasn't the old school, just gory stupidity. This was planned hilarity. So
yes. Once again, though, this is where the mom is a bit of a misstep because if you look at those movies, they have Grandpa and he's like with the hammer.
Yeah.
That's what they needed. The mom needed to be either really super menacing or really messed up.
Would have been great if it was like Lucille Ball. That would have been perfect. Like the prim and, I'm just saying like the prim and proper, like 50s.
I thought you meant dead Lucille Ball. She comes in, Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky. Wee! Like that'd be fantastic.
Somebody did tenderize Lee, right?
Yeah, no kidding. So
that was so gross, though, when they were tenderizing your leg. And see, once again, at that moment, I'm thinking maybe this is a setup because it felt very much like other things. Not a setup. They're eating her leg. Yeah, that's gross.
They did not. They fed it to Monet and
right. They made them eat it.
Audrey. They made them eat it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was great. I mean, and it was like in little strips. It was like fajita meat. I was like, oh, that's nasty.
Yeah. Oh, fajitas sound good, don't they?
Yes, they do. Fajitas would be great right now.
I could totally throw down some fajitas right now. I can throw down fajitas while that's happening, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
Not effective.
It was, yeah.
So, I mean, really, we're at the end of this thing. Dominic looks out the window after all this hell is broken loose. He sees Agnes out there gassing the house. Not the way you and I gas the house.
No.
Gassing the
gasoline,
house.
Not
yeah. And this is the end. This is when you get all those rapid things. We see him gassing the house. Dominic's like, we're never getting out of here. We got a shot of Matt dead in the basement. Then we see them serving Audrey and Monet the meat.
Right.
And then
the cop appears.
Yeah, the real Roanoke's appear. They appear with their torches, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of gas around and torches, and this is where we're going to find out the deal with Agnes, and we sure do.
Yes.
That crazy butcher, I mean, that was awesome. Walks up, doesn't say anything, really, does she?
No, she doesn't say anything, and Agnes is like, goes, "You're my hero. I channeled you. I totally got you."
She goes, "My idol, my maker," and then chop. She cleavers her in the head too. But
she also kind of, she did. She got the split. I don't think she was too. I mean, I'm sure she didn't really want that to happen, but I don't think she did not welcome that. I think she was kind of ambivalent because I think she's like, I'm nuts. This is awesome. I'm done. And because she kind of gives herself to
she's sacrificing herself to the butcher. Yeah. I don't know if she necessarily
did to Lady Gaga. Remember?
I don't remember that.
No, the butcher, after she kills all the village people, she offers herself. So
weren't you sad when they killed the cowboy? He's the best one.
Exactly. He's again another.
What? Oh, you're cutting out. I don't hear you at all, Chris.
Am I back?
There you are.
All right, sorry. So another actor acts like their real life person.
Yeah.
And the girl who plays the butcher sacrifices herself to the supernatural evil, like the butcher really did in the story.
Yeah.
And then, and I think we are going to find that as we'll talk in the next podcast that there's more of that coming. So
yes, we will. So let's end it.
Yeah, let's end it.
Let's end it.
We have more stuff to talk about. So
we'll end it like normal here, and then we'll go right into the next episode. So thank you for listening, everybody. Follow us on Twitter at Disturbed Pod. Follow us on Facebook. You can go to Disturbed Podcast on Facebook. Just type that in. It'll come right up. We love to talk about stuff on there. We love to chat. Get in conversation with us. We love it. We have a Pinterest board also. You can go to Southgate Media Group Pinterest and just type in Disturbed Podcast, and our board should come up. We're sharing stuff on there. We're always looking for other Disturbed stuff that we'll share on there. So let us know if you got something, like stuff, write to us. Like any place you can communicate with us, we're down for it. You can also write to us at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. That goes right to me, but I do share it with Chris, and that way, we'll respond to you there. Chris, why don't you give your social media?
Absolutely. That can be found at theblueboxcafe.com or Blue Box Cafe or Blue Box Cafe 176 on social media.
Excellent. And that is it. Until next time, Chris, you're my idol. You're my hero.
Funk.